This screencast is the third in a series of short tutorials on installing and using the SubstanceD application development framework using Python 3. In the first screencast, we created a virtual environment and populated it with setup tools, Pyramid, SubstanceD, you can see here in the second screencast we used Pyramid's pcreate script to generate the initial version of a project called My Intranet. We set it up as a Git repository. And checked the initial versions of the files, and then we also installed used setup PyDevelop from this directory in our virtual environment to add this directory to the Python path and install the remaining dependencies. So at this point we're ready to actually run the server. Pyramid provides a script called pserve, which is in the bin directory of our environment. And that script expects to get a configuration file passed to it, telling it which how to run the server. In this case, we're going to use the script that's present here for development purposes, called development.ini. So we're going to run pserve with the development configuration file, and we see that the server is actually running on port 6543. I'm going to stop it with Control-C real quick and look at, we'll see that here there have been some database files created, the main one which is called data.fs, and then a secondary one which contains auditing information called audit.fs, and then the index and other files that are used to support that. In the first setup, we actually told Git to ignore those files, so they are present but not being tracked by Git. So I'm going to run the server again, and then I'm going to want to log in my web browser on port 6543. This div over here to the right is the debug toolbar. I'm going to look at it in this screencast. So here at the root of the server, we have the splash page, which tells us that this is SubstanceD and gives us some pointers to some documentation. The most interesting thing here is the management interface. So we're going to actually run. We're going to want to log into the management interface here. But we don't know the password. SubstanceD, if I flip back to my script, when it generates the project for us, it actually generates it with a random password. So we're going to want to use that random password here. I know that the initial user account is named admin, and I'm pasting the random password in there. So now I've logged in to the server. And we can see that the user interface here, and I'll be back in just a minute to show you that on a bigger screen.